hate secondhand smoke.
Remember when TV executives thought slapping a familiar name on any random idea would guarantee a successful spinoff? Yeah, that's not how it works. But they still wanted to prove it over and over and over again. Today, we're looking at 5 more TV spinoffs that were so awkward, so unnecessary, and so short-lived that you probably forgot they existed. Turns out there were so many failed attempts to clone successful shows that we couldn't fit them all into one video, so welcome to part 8. If you missed the other 7 videos, we dropped the playlist link in the description below. Now, before we jump into today's train wrecks, be sure to like and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel reach more people who remember this kind of stuff. Now, let's get into the countdown with number 5, Billy, ABC.
That's me, Billy McGregor. I came to America from Scotland, just like Rod Stewart. I don't know what happened to him, but I teach at a community college in California.
TV has always had this weird fascination with green card marriages as comedy gold, and in 1992, ABC decided to take another swing at it with Billy. This was a spin-off of Head of the Class, that sitcom about gifted students at Millard Fillmore High School in Manhattan. The show ran from 1986 to 1991 and originally starred Howard Hessman as their history teacher.
Marilyn Monroe said that he was the sexiest man she ever met.
Unfortunately, Marilyn Monroe is no longer in the dating pool.
Come on, Harvard.
Prior to that, Hessman was better known as Dr. Johnny Fever from WKRP in Cincinnati. The show had decent ratings and launched the careers of Robin Givens, Brian Robbins, and a few others, some we don't even want to mention. When Hessman left in the final season, the show brought in Scottish comedian Billy Connolly as Billy McGregor, a substitute teacher with a very different teaching style. Now, Connolly was already huge in the UK, but he was still building his American audience. He'd done an HBO special with Whoopi Goldberg and was trying to break through in the US market. And because the final seasons of sitcoms are basically auditions for spin-offs, Billy got his own show. But here's the thing, they completely changed everything. In his new show, Billy was a Scottish college instructor in California who somehow forgot to renew his visa. Sure, because that's definitely something you just forget about. Enter Mary, played by Marie Marshall, one of his students who was also a stressed-out divorced mom of 3. She couldn't afford her mortgage and he was about to be deported, so naturally they decided to get married. Problem solved, right? Her rules for this arrangement were pretty strict. No drinking, no pets, and absolutely no romantic involvement. Just a fake marriage with weekly moral lessons for the kids.
I heard you speaking to your mother. You said you didn't smoke. But we know better, don't we?
No, wait a minute. She said, "Are you smoking?" Now, obviously, I wasn't smoking at that exact moment, so I didn't have to lie.
And speaking of those kids, one of them was played by Johnny Galecki, years before Roseanne and The Big Bang Theory would make him a household name. The show tried to balance wholesome family comedy with the inherently sketchy premise of immigration fraud. The result was, let's say, uncomfortable. The jokes felt forced, the premise felt recycled, especially since I Married Dora had failed a few years prior with a very similar concept. We covered I Married Dora in our 1987 flops video, so don't worry, we'll tag it in the description so you can check it after this video. ABC gave it 13 episodes between January and July of 1992. By the 4th of July, Billy's fake marriage was over.
Can you believe this? I mean, who does he think he is? Hello, kids, I'm coming by. What does he think he can just pop in and out of their lives? You can't do that to children.
So, what happened to the cast? Billy Connolly went on to have an incredible career in comedy and film. He retired from stand-up in 2018 due to Parkinson's disease, but hasn't slowed down creatively. He's now an accomplished artist with gallery exhibitions.
They look so good, you know, in the frames all hanging up. They used to just be in a big sketchbook.
Lives in Florida with his wife, and received a BAFTA fellowship in 2022 for his 5-decade career. Marie Marshall kept working steadily in television. She's one of those actors you recognize from dozens of shows. Star Trek The Next Generation, Babylon 5, Law & Order SVU, FBI Most Wanted. She also served on the board of Real Women, promoting women in film. Johnny Galecki obviously did pretty well for himself. After Roseanne and The Big Bang Theory, he stepped back from acting. He lives in Nashville now, opened a cocktail lounge downtown, and is focusing on raising his kids away from the Hollywood spotlight. Number 4, Joey, NBC. Friends was appointment television. For those who somehow missed it, the show followed 6 20-somethings navigating life and love in New York City. Rachel, Monica, Phoebe, Ross, Chandler, and Joey. It made household names out of Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, David Schwimmer, Matthew Perry, and Matt LeBlanc. When it ended in 2004, the finale drew 52 million viewers. So, naturally, NBC thought, let's keep this going with just Joey. So, Matt LeBlanc's lovable goofball got his own show, moving to Hollywood to become a serious actor. He crashed with his sister Gina, a hairdresser with a New York attitude, played by Drea De Matteo, and her genius son Michael, played by Paolo Costanzo.
Tell your Uncle Joey what you've been up to lately.
Well, now that college is done, I'm just doing some grad work over at Caltech Center for Simulation of Dynamic Response Materials.
Can you believe he came out of me?
Joey's agent, Bobby, played by Jennifer Coolidge, was supposed to be his path to stardom, but mostly just got him terrible auditions. His neighbor Alex, played by Andrea Anders, was the obvious love interest, a lawyer who found Joey charming despite, well, everything. Season 1 started strong with 18 million viewers, and people were curious. But by Season 2, the ratings tanked. NBC tried adding new characters, including Miguel A. Nunez Jr., best known for Juana Man, as Joey's best friend Zach. They pushed the Joey-Alex romance harder, and nothing worked. The show felt hollow without the other 5 friends. Joey's simple-mindedness, which worked as part of an ensemble, became exhausting as the main focus. The new characters never gelled the way the original group did. Still, there were bright spots. Simon Helberg played a small recurring role before becoming Howard on The Big Bang Theory. Lucy Liu had a story arc. The guest star list was impressive, featuring Bob Odenkirk, Betty White, Ellen DeGeneres. Even George Hamilton showed up. NBC produced 46 episodes, but only 38 aired in the US. The last 8 got dumped in the US, but somehow still appeared overseas. The show died quietly in 2006, proving that not every beloved character deserves their own series. So, where's the cast now? Matt LeBlanc took a 5-year break from acting to focus on his daughter's health issues. He came back with episodes, playing a fictional version of himself and winning a Golden Globe. He hosted Top Gear, starred in Man with a Plan, and now co-owns an exotic car dealership. Despite recent speculation, he hasn't officially retired from acting.
This season, for my character in particular, he has to face some really big, hard decisions.
Drea De Matteo went on to Sons of Anarchy, Desperate Housewives, and more. Recently, she's been outspoken about leaving Hollywood, saying her stance on certain, shall we say, hot-button issues have cost her work. She started a streetwear brand and has turned to alternative platforms to support her family. Paolo Costanzo never stopped working. 8 seasons of Royal Pains, roles in The Expanse and Upload, and even some directing. He's still acting in indie films and raising his family in Los Angeles. Andrea Anders has been consistently busy, appearing in Better Off Ted, Modern Family, Ted Lasso, and currently starring in Bookie on Max.
So hey, congratulations, black carpet premiere for season 2 of Bookie. I mean, how does it feel tonight?
It's great. It's great to be here. It's exciting. It's always good to get a second season, and yeah, we're so excited to see the show.
She had her first child in 2016 and recently wrapped a role in That 90s Show. Jennifer Coolidge, talk about a career resurgence. After years of steady work, The White Lotus made her a superstar. Multiple Emmys, a Golden Globe, and suddenly she's everywhere. In 2025, she's in films with Bill Murray, on every Discover credit card commercial, and voicing characters in a Minecraft movie. PETA has even named her their vegan queen. She definitely won the post-Joey success lottery. Number 3, Sons of Thunder, CBS.
Well, you'll find the Sons of Thunder underneath the Texas skies.
Some spin-offs fail because they're too different from the original series. Sons of Thunder had the opposite problem. It was exactly the same show, just with younger guys and more hair gel. Let's back up. Walker, Texas Ranger was that Chuck Norris show where every problem could be solved with roundhouse kicks and moral speeches. Walker and his partner Trevette would fight crime, mentor young rangers, work with the district attorney, and occasionally grab chili at CD's Bar and Grill. It was predictable, it was fun, and it ran for 8 seasons because we loved it. In Season 4, the show aired a 2-hour episode called Sons of Thunder that introduced Trent Malloy and Carlos Sandoval. Trent, played by James Wolchek, was an army sergeant who came home to Dallas after his father died. His dad was Reverend Thunder Malloy, one of Walker's close friends. Carlos, played by Marco Sanchez, was a Dallas cop and Trent's childhood best friend. The episode had Carlos targeted by a cop killer, Trent saving his life, and everyone teaming up with Walker to catch the bad guy. Classic backdoor pilot stuff.
Charges were brought up against him on attempted murder. First he was going to fight it, but when he found out we weren't going to back him up, he pled it out. Took a 6 to 10 with assault with a deadly. As part of the agreement, he got to serve it at a federal facility.
Trent and Carlos continued to pop up throughout seasons 5 and 6. Trent opened a martial arts studio and started a protection agency to help those who were too scared to go to the police or who the police can't help. Carlos would either help out or drag Trent into whatever case Walker was working on. CBS must have liked what they saw because in 1999, 3 seasons after first appearing on Walker, Texas Ranger, they gave the boys their own show. In their spinoff, Carlos quit the force after his partner was murdered. He and Trent teamed up to track down the killer, then decided to open Thunder Investigations. Yes, that was really the name.
See, what you need to do is just relax. You visualize and throw. You know, I'm surprised Walker never taught you that.
Their office was above a Dallas sports bar called Uppercuts, run by Butch McMahon, played by Alan Autry from In the Heat of the Night.
In the heat.
By episode 2, they hired Kim, played by Dawn Maxey, a hotel night manager who suddenly had elite hacking skills because every PI show needs a tech wizard.
Sorry you kind of caught me off guard. I'm Lola Falana with Falana Realty.
Duh, the formula was pure Walker. Go undercover, get in fights, solve the case, and deliver a speech about doing the right thing. Rinse and repeat. Walker, Alex, and Trevette showed up for crossovers, but it didn't help. The show felt flat. Same action, same moralizing, just missing that special something that made Walker work. Maybe it was the cowboy hat. CBS aired 6 episodes in the spring of 1999, then pulled the plug. No Thunder, no Fury, just gone. So what happened to the cast after the roundhouse kick stopped? James Walchek kept acting in TV, movies, and indie films. Some sources suggest he may be working in law enforcement in Los Angeles, which would be an interesting career pivot from playing a TV investigator in the first place. Marco Sanchez became a reliable character actor. One of those, hey, it's that guy faces you see everywhere. NCIS, Criminal Minds, Desperate Housewives, plus films like Super 8 and Star Trek Into Darkness. He also co-founded a film company and stays active in theater. Alan Autry took the most unexpected turn. He became the actual mayor of Fresno, California, served 2 terms, then went back to acting and producing. He now runs a production company, hosts a radio show, and mentors incarcerated youth. From fake PI to real public service. Get it, Alan? Dawn Maxey's story is remarkable. After some TV guest spots and voice work, she was working as a postal carrier when she lost her vision in an attack. Instead of letting that stop her, she helped match 80 people with guide dogs before retiring in 2018. She now spreads positivity through her personal philosophy, Dawn It. Number 2, Blansky's Beauties, ABC. Happy Days was massive in the 1970s. This nostalgic look at 1950s Milwaukee gave us Richie Cunningham, the Fonz, and the phrase jumping the shark. It ran for 11 seasons and spawned hit spin-offs like Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy. And then there was Blansky's Beauties. Somehow, someone decided that what the Happy Days audience really needed was a spin-off about Las Vegas showgirls. Nancy Walker played Nancy Blansky, den mother to a group of dancers at the Oasis Hotel. She kept them in line, managed their routines, and dated the hotel's maitre d'. To afford her apartment, she lived with 2 dancers named, and I'm not making this up, Sunshine and Bambi. They also had a Great Dane named Blackjack, because why not?
Sunshine and I rent a room from Nancy Blansky. She lives with her 2 nephews. Oh, it's a circus. But I could go out.
The cast included Nancy's 2 nephews, Joey, a choreographer played by Eddie Mecca, Carmine from Laverne and Shirley, and Anthony, a 12-year-old played by pre-Chachi Scott Baio, whose whole character was basically kid who flirts with showgirls.
He's supposed to be home studying.
Believe me, he's studying.
The Happy Days connection was tissue thin. Nancy was supposedly Howard Cunningham's cousin, and Pat Morita showed up as Arnold, now running the Oasis coffee shop instead of Arnold's Drive-In back in Milwaukee. But here's the part that makes zero sense. Blansky's Beauties was set in 1977, the present day when it aired. Happy Days was still in the 50s and 60s, so Howard's cousin was somehow looking exactly the same 15 years in the future? Did she have a time machine? Was this some kind of alternate universe? The show never explained it. The whole thing was loud, desperate to seem hip, and trying way too hard.
Hey, I'm leaving too,
Both Nancy Walker and Pat Morita had just come off failed sitcoms that very season, The Nancy Walker Show and Mr. T and Tina respectively, so Blansky's Beauties was their second string. ABC aired 13 episodes before pulling the plug. Not sure anyone could have handled more episodes anyway. So, what happened to the cast after the curtain fell? Nancy Walker bounced right back to playing Ida Morgenstern on Rhoda. She stayed busy through the 80s and early 90s with guest spots on The Golden Girls, Newhart, and Columbo. She directed TV episodes and even the Village People movie Can't Stop the Music. Someone had to do it. And I know there's some people out there that probably remember her best as Rosie, the waitress in those Bounty paper towel commercials. Okay, I'm some people. She passed away in 1992 while working on True Colors. Eddie Mecca kept working steadily with TV guest spots in theater. He showed up on ER, Family Matters, even It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He danced with Madonna in A League of Their Own, still looking exactly the same 15 years later, wish we could all say that, and toured in musicals. He passed away in 2021. Scott Baio went on to play Chachi in Happy Days and Joni Loves Chachi, then starred in Charles in Charge and let's not forget Baby Talk, the movie adaptation of Look Who's Talking. Okay, personally that one was for me. More recently, he did Diagnosis Murder, reality TV, and recently appeared in faith-based films. Pat Morita became a pop culture icon as Mr. Miyagi in the Karate Kid franchise. He got an Oscar nomination, voiced characters in Mulan, and worked constantly until his death in 2005. Not bad for a guy who started as a stand-up comic. Number 1, That 80s Show, Fox. And here we are, the most cynical cash grab on our list. That 80s Show wasn't even really a spin-off. There was no shared characters, no crossovers, just some of the same creators hoping lightning would strike twice. They claimed the main character was Eric Foreman's cousin, but that was it for connections. That 70s Show was a genuine hit from 1998 to 2006, making stars of its young cast of Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, and Topher Grace, to name a few. And of course, giving us Red Foreman's foot-based threat system.
Okay, you boys be nice, but not too nice.
So when creators Mark Brazil and Terry Turner pitched That 80s Show in 2002, Fox said yes immediately. Set in 1984 San Diego, it followed Corey Howard, played by Glenn Howerton, a wannabe musician working at a record store called Permanent Record. He lived with his perky sister Katie, played by Tinsley Grimes, and their bitter divorced dad, RT, played by Jeff Pearson. Corey's ex-girlfriend Sophia, played by Brittany Daniel, had an unrequited crush on his sister, Katie. His best friend Roger, played by Eddie Shin, tried his best to be a junior Gordon Gekko, and his new love interest, June Tuesday, played by Shyler Lee, was a punk rock chick with aggressive eyeliner.
All I'm saying is that you have hit the jackpot. What would I do without you, bro?
It's safe to say this show hit every 80s cliche possible, and it didn't end there.
That's so mean. You must be Tuesday. I'm Katie, Corey's sister.
New wave music, shoulder pads, Reagan jokes, members-only jackets, but it all felt forced, like someone Googled 1980s things and built a show around the search results. The cast was actually solid. They even had future stars in small roles. TJ Tyne showed up before Bones, Broadway's Renee Elise Goldsberry popped up before Hamilton made her a legend, and the premiere pulled 11 million viewers. Not bad, but by episode 11, they'd lost more than half the audience. Fox canceled it after 13 episodes. The problem was simple. That 70s Show worked because it had heart beneath the bell-bottoms. That 80s Show was just empty nostalgia, a calculated attempt to recreate success without understanding what made the original special.
I gotta do it.
Damn right you have to do it.
Yeah, just said
Stop
I would.
trying to get out of it.
I said...
Not another word!
Yes.
So, where's the cast of this 80s disaster now? Glenn Howerton co-created It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, now the longest-running live-action sitcom in American TV history. He's been playing sociopath Dennis Reynolds since 2005, won critical acclaim for Blackberry, and recently showed up on Abbott Elementary as part of an Always Sunny crossover. Schuyler Lee played Lexi Gray on Grey's Anatomy for years, then became a superhero as Alex Danvers on Supergirl. Now she's leading the way home on Hallmark and making music with her husband as the duo Wesley. Tinsley Grimes made the biggest life change. She became a doctor. After a few more acting gigs, she went to medical school and is now Dr. Tinsley Webster, doing her forensic psychiatry residency at the Cleveland Clinic. Brittany Daniel found success on the game, survived stage 4 lymphoma, which is awesome, and became a mom with help from her twin sister. She's still acting, but on her own terms, most recently in the Cheaper by the Dozen remake. Eddie Shin quietly built the most consistent career of the bunch. He's one of those actors who's in everything. Gilmore Girls, Agent Carter, SWAT, video games, animated shows, and he's still working constantly in 2025. So there you have it. There's 5 more spin-offs that prove just because you can make something doesn't mean that you should. Which of these did you actually watch? Come on, someone out there must have seen at least one episode of Blansky's Beauties. No judgment, we've all made questionable viewing choices. Drop a comment about which forgotten spin-offs we should dig up next, because trust me, the vault of failed TV experiments runs deep. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our next deep dive into TV history. Until next time, this is Remember When.